Welcome to the best of first-person episodes from Phantoms and Monsters. Please like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you'll be notified of all future uploads.
Abductee describes Dogman like humanoids. I come from a family of abductees. During my life I have had several experiences, starting with seeing a large hexagonal UFO, the kind that blends into the night sky, and that you can only make out the outline as it cloaks itself. Later I experienced shining lights coming through my ceiling, and eventually I began experiencing vivid memories of piloting a ship and being of an alien race, traveling to unique worlds, some of which I called home. Over the years I have had many experiences of being educated aboard a ship, in human form, and I was always a very active, questioning and disruptive participant. I am always trying to get people on the ships to open their minds up to new ideas, think differently, and also to get off the ships and onto worlds. Most recently I experienced being on a ship once more. I was led through a corridor by a hybrid scientist. He was mostly human in appearance, but with wrinkled thick gray skin, and wearing a lab coat. We passed beside a small group of dark-skinned humanoid, dog-like, Bigfoot-like people. I feel bad calling them that. They have a name, I just can't remember it. There were about 12 or so of them there. They were good-looking, not quite human, but were so familiar, like a very close relative of human beings with something different about them that was jarring. They reminded me of Australian Aboriginal people in complexion, features such as eyebrows, eye shape, smile, lips and hair color and texture. But they had sharp canine teeth, dark dog-like noses, and the men had a lot of facial hair. The men and women wore animal skin clothing. The women were mostly of older age, wore long cloaks and were hunched over and huddled together, and they seemed to be feeling cold. The men wore less, more like loincloths, and were of varying ages. The scientist was very nervous in proximity to these people and tried to hurry me past down the hallway. He felt they were wild animals. In a telepathic environment, you just know how others feel. They don't have to say it or explain their feelings, they just are what they are. I was approached by one of the men very insistently. He came very close into my physical space, and he flashed his eyes at me urgently. They glowed bright green like cat eyes do. He was very passionate, animated and intense, and I was attracted to him. He smelled nice. He told me, telepathically, that he was lonely, that his people wanted to get off the ship, that genetically they were dying and had a very small gene pool, and that they needed to start meeting people. It wasn't just to reproduce, of course, they were very social beings. He had a lot to say and felt that I could help explain it to the scientist because he wasn't listening. The scientist wanted to punish the man for being disobedient, and I was appalled. I had a very good feeling about them culturally as a group and felt that they would fit in very well on Earth. Both the dogman and the scientist received my feelings on the matter in a telepathic environment. It's all pretty obvious when someone hears you. The scientist was surprised at my reaction. This was another experience of dealing with gray hybrid humans and sort of shaking my head at their oblivious ways. They know so much, but there is a lot they don't understand. I was definitely more interested in the people in the corridor than whatever the hybrid scientist was taking me to do. I don't remember anything after this point. Later, I was unnerved by my attraction to a non-human. But I guess it was close enough. Anonymous.
Dogman bipedal canine encounter, Central Pennsylvania. I am sending this to you in light of hearing about some other recent Pennsylvania sightings, so I wanted to share my experience. This first encounter happened to me about 4 weeks ago. I am a 42-year-old woman of sober mind, and I am not prone to embellishing. I have a 5-pound Chihuahua and an 80-pound pit bull that I walk around town every evening. This encounter happened at around 8 o'clock 8:30 p.m., just after dusk. The streetlights were on. There is a town park in Portage that lies on the edge of some woods. I would guess that the park is around 25 acres or so. I walked the dogs through the park and then decided I wanted to go around the block on the back side of the park. There is a main road that runs alongside of the front of the park and a dirt road that runs along the back side of the park. The roads meet at a streetlight. I was on the main road and got within about 25 yards of the streetlight, and there was a huge figure, about 7 feet tall I estimate. It was standing just back from the light, and I could see just the legs. They were hair-covered and bent backwards like a dog. I could not make out a face or other details as it was standing back. Keep in mind I have my 2 dogs with me, and the pit bull is extremely protective. The first thought I had was, oh shit, that is a big damn dog, and then it dawned on me what I was seeing. My next thought was, it is a freaking werewolf. It was rocking side to side like it was waiting for us to get closer. That is when I yanked both leashes and ran towards home. If it were a dog, note that this thing was about 7 feet tall, it would have chased me and my dogs like a normal dog would do. It just stood there pacing from one foot to the other side to side. It was standing on 2 feet, not on all fours. My dogs did not seem to sense anything, and there was no reaction from them, which I found very strange. Perhaps that thing was downwind, and the dogs did not see it because this all happened so fast. I got home and told my fiancé what had happened, and he did not make fun of me, he believed me. He encouraged me not to go that way again. Well, guess what? I went that way the next night because I had convinced myself I was seeing things. This time I took the dirt road that circles the backside of the park, just to prove myself wrong. It was not quite dusk, so it was still pretty light out, and the woods are on either side, and there are no houses in this particular area. I got to within 150 feet of where I saw this thing, and my chihuahua started growling and all of his hair was standing up. He started barking and going in circles looking for whatever it was that he sensed. No reaction at all from the pit. She is feisty and not afraid to fight intruders, so that really surprised me. About the same time the little dog was freaking out, there was a huge crash in the woods next to us, maybe 10 yards away or so. This area is very swampy, and there are quite a few large bushes and trees. This crash sounded like a tree falling, but like it fell instantly. It was loud, fast and instant. I ran out of there so damn fast. I did not see anything this time other than my dog freaking out and the large crash. I did not think I could move that fast. I got home safe and vowed to never take that trail again. Please keep in mind that this trail is very heavily used by cars and people daily. That is what strikes me as so odd to see and hear something like that there. Well, the next morning I put the dogs out to pee, and they both freaked out and started growling, hair standing up and running up and down our fence, sniffing and digging at it. They get excited when they smell something that should not be there, i.e. another dog or such, but this is now how they were behaving. They acted very agitated and almost scared. It truly makes me wonder if something followed us home that night. Needless to say, if I walk the park I stay away from the back side. The dogs get agitated when we are on the front side, and they can smell in that general direction. They will growl and whine. I always carry a loaded handgun no matter where I go, but something tells me that it would not help if that thing wanted to meet. So that is my story, every word true. You can take it for what it's worth. I would be very curious to know if you have had other reports of things in my area. Of all the years I have lived here and been on the backwoods trails, I have never felt fear or saw anything out of the ordinary. Now I am scared to walk in town. I would much rather be in the woods, and I have actually started walking those trails instead. I would truly appreciate if you would let me know of other sightings or encounters in my area if you have had reports. I am about an hour drive from Penfield, and I am aware of things going on there as well. Thank you for your time, Lon, and I appreciate your work. Janet.
Terrifying Dogman cryptid canine close encounter in Quebec. An old friend and I saw a Dogman in the Centre Ecologique Fernand-Seguin in Chateauguay in Quebec, Canada. It was the summer of 2008, if my memory is correct. During a late evening hike with my friend in the park, like around 9 or 10 p.m., we began to be followed by an animal who acted very weird, emitting a dog-like sound. When we returned to the entrance of the park, this thing cleverly followed us at the edge of the wood, to avoid the light at the entrance of the park, so we couldn't see it. Like it knew we can't see anything at night, and the light will reveal it. When we were running back to the parking area, my friend and I entered the car in a hurry. When he started the car, my friend saw the face of the beast 2 to 3 meters from the window, standing on 2 feet, staring at him with a creepy grin. My friend is a very tough guy normally, and he knows the forest very well. He has seen lots of predators in the past. It was the first time I saw him terrified like that. A couple of days ago, his father saw a muscular and massive black dog in Lurie, a small town near Chateauguay, around their little cabin in the wood, close to a marsh. The creature had large shoulders, and it confronted the father of my friend by staring at him from a distance of 5 to 6 meters. The moment the father of my friend tried to reach a kind of spear weapon to confront it, the creature ran away into the marsh very fast and never come back. His father never told us about his story until we talk about our encounter. So maybe it was the same beast living in the area or another one living in the same area. We will never truly know. Name withheld.
This is Lon Strickler. If you like this program, it would help us if you would give it a thumbs up. Then subscribe and click the bell icon so you get notification when we upload new first-person encounters. We have many more to come very soon. And by the way, if you have a suggestion or an experience of your own, please leave a comment.